What's going on, everybody? The doctor is back. I know that's a new intro that what you guys are normally used to, but my brother is still currently sick. Not really sick, he's just kind of a whiny little baby. I wish he would finally get over it. I'm not a doctor, but goddamn. Some people need to step it up. Be a man. And today, what I've got, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it. But before I do that, pull the snake again. I'm pretty good at those. What I wanted to say before is my last review was on a series called Alfie, which I still highly recommend if you're here for what I think you're here for, along with the premise of what the entire thing is for. As I uploaded that video, I checked again today to see if there were any more pages added, mostly because I really like the story and I want to see where it goes. It actually got 3 new pages. One of them was the chapter end for the current part, and then the next 2 pages are focusing on the next chapter, which I believe is going to be a background on a different character. So I would highly recommend getting there. If you hadn't noticed, go check it out. And if you are thinking about it, it's as good as time as any. It's a long series, and I feel like you'll have a good amount to do. I mean, we're all stuck inside. Here's something you can actually do with it. Now, on to my next one that I was actually going to work with is a series called Switch. It's a series. It is a series done by an artist named Reinbach. 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 I have read I read it a while ago and I went back to revisit it just to clear myself up on it. And I gotta say, I really, really like this illustrator slash author. I don't know if they do both of them, but the art in it and the story, I'm just gonna credit it to them. The person that makes it is legitimately talented. The characters are. Let's go ahead and go by what I have right here. All right. The I would like to say the name again. It's called Switch. Switch. It's much shorter than the last one that I did. Only about 170 to 190 pages. I'm pretty sure it's 178, but I forgot to write it down and I don't want to restart the whole video because of that stupid thing. And the series has 35 different categories on it. Has 35 different categories that it's under, and each one of them is kind of corresponding to each other. Now, I know 35 is a lot, but there are others out there with a lot more. So the series itself is still pretty diverse, and I bet no matter who you are, you can probably find what you're looking for out there. And the basic synopsis of the whole thing is there's a girl who has little to no inhibitions in her head and has a demonic voice in there as well that kind of acts as her conscience, tells her what's right and what's wrong. And it's kind of a weird thing if you need a demon in your head to tell you what's right and what's wrong rather than just a demon telling you to do fucked up stuff. But she is very unhinged throughout the whole thing. The main girl has a best friend who she's constantly trying to get together with, but she ends up just instead of them getting together, it starts leading them both down a path where one does horrible things that is supposed to be a way of making her feel better. The other one copies her because she thinks she's got life understood, and they both end up going down this path. It's almost like it's almost like a mental illness thing where you like that person, so you'll do what they're doing, but they have no idea what they're doing, and they're in just as much pain as they like slowly fissure their way downwards. or they start spiraling down, and the person is still getting together with a lot of people, but it's not healthy for them, and it slowly falls down. There is a general plot to it, and it's all about her, the main character, trying to figure herself out as she spirals downward because she's too stubborn to learn anything. She's constantly telling other people that they're wrong, refusing to take what they're doing, and throwing temper tantrums like a child, and keeps slipping around. But she's trying her best to like actually be a character that's worth what she's doing. She wants to justify what she's doing, and she wants to make sure that she'll be happy at the end of it. But she goes about it in wrong ways all the way until eventually the story gets to a point where it's at. I'm not going to spoil what it does because there is another series that I do plan on reviewing later. Now, like I said, synopsis: girl has demon in her head who tells her right from wrong. She's very unhinged and she wants to be a better person throughout it, but everything kind of ends up pushing her towards what she thinks is right and what's wrong. She ends up being more selfish than selfless. That kind of dichotomy between the two. Now, the illustrations, all in all, the illustrations in it are very good. Just flat out good. In the beginning, they're a little bit more modest. The characters are more proportionate. They're more realistically drawn. But then slowly, you start to notice some proportion sizes. Certain things grow in size as certain ones kind of become less. You wouldn't need a brace if you stayed with the beginning ones. The last ones, you'd need like one of those things that helps you like keep your back up. You'd have to lie down in a specific bed to make sure that you'd be okay at the end of those. And it's a very subtle change, but you do notice it by the end of it. And just every page is drawn meticulously. You can tell this is one of those series that it'll take just a few minutes off or a few days off just so they can get the art down and make sure that the characters look good before they start like creating more. All right, and it's very understandable. They do take long periods of time, but it's once you see the art, you'll totally get it. And there are characters that I did get confused with others, but after about like the 10th page, I didn't notice any changes in between certain characters. They were all clearly visible. They had distinct personalities and designs, and they were very good. They were very well done overall. Now amongst the characters, there are certain characters that actually I don't think I noticed a ton of characters that were carbon copies. A lot of the characters had some decent personality to them, and they were all pretty damn attractive at what they were doing. Characters that did certain things or had certain gimmicks to their look, they played into the strengths of them rather than just putting them into their own specific realm. Like, it's not like, oh, this is happening to one girl and everybody likes that, so we'll just repeat the same thing throughout all of them. No, they diversify what they're doing and they play into the strengths of the way the characters look. If a girl is more well endowed, they'll kind of focus on that, or they'll focus around something similar to it. Girl has certain facial features, they'll kind of play into that. And the characters are very diversely drawn, and it fits in a great state. It fits together really well. I love this art style that he does because it's a lot of effort for something that I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate because of the content that's in it. And that brings me on to my next point, the actual content. The plot. The sex. I don't know what I'm doing. But everything that's in it is very. It's a lot more over the top than it is like necessary. There are parts in it that are there to show that the character is like slowly changing forward, and it is very diverse. Like I said in the beginning, when it has 35 categories, it's very diverse, and it panders to a lot of different audiences without like going out of its way to say like that is totally unbelievable. And it does hit a few places that I feel like not a lot of people are going to be into it. Like sometimes there is like dad and no wait, girl and stepdad, but it's a weird thing where it's like you kind of back away, but then once you start to get the relationship between them, you kind of move past that. You don't really pay attention to it, and you kind of move along with it. It's a the actual content, the plot in it, plot, very specific word, is a very. It's a lot. It's it's almost as if like the act of it itself is very open in their world. Some people are just like, oh, it's a taboo to see it out in the open. But then again, like if somebody's at a party, it's a very like open thing. You don't really notice a lot of it. A lot of it. Oh, look at that! It's so crazy. But like they're doing it over there, so it's not really a big deal. It's kind of casual in the way that it displays the act itself, and it's like I said, very diverse. The scenes themselves are very like they're long enough to where you can appreciate what's going on, but it's not drawn out like the guy just gets done and then the girl's like, "Oh, you're still going. It's been like a second. I need time to like get the blood flow down so I can stop." Nope, that means not. And then it like goes on again for another unnecessary 30 pages. The series itself is a complete story that fits all together, and it is very spaced out within. It's not like super spaced. It's about like one every 10 pages there's a scene, but then the scene lasts for a certain amount of time. 10 pages of kind of like plot and character, not plot. Plot. It's just plot. Story. It shows the reasons why what's going to happen next is going to happen and why certain characters are going to be there. There. It moves along into the next series and then it pushes past and then shows the characters. There's those 10 pages in between like the acts in themselves, they're more along the lines of building characters and showing what that last scene is going to lead into this scene and are the characters going to change from it. And overall, the content, the content, I'm going to keep doing the fucking finger things because I can't figure out anything else to do. The actual content, very diverse, very well drawn, and very good. But the doctor's seal of approval. And my overall review. Oh, and just to be clear, the series has ended a while ago. The series ended in January of 2018. The sequel series is still being made, and it's currently longer than the original series, and it's great. Trust me, I'm going to do a review of it later. But the overall review for this one, it's short. It's shorter than most. Well, it's longer than like what normal people would say is short, but to me, who's read ones that are like 300 pages casually, that's not me being above you, that's just me saying I'm experienced. It's around 170 to 190 pages. It's the wording is very spaced out, so it's almost like if you were to put this into a story, it could easily be like 20 pages, but it's just a good it's a good spacing between it so you're not bogged down by like I'm feeling oh thank god I'm finally done with that. Oh this scene isn't going to happen this page, so I got to keep going. It's very well spaced out. The characters are distinct. Some of them are a little unlikable. They're a little like drawn out. But the characters themselves actually have some strengths and weaknesses to what they're doing. Somebody who's bland in this scene isn't super bland in the next because they actually show a little bit. They show a change that you weren't expecting, but you move past it because that feels like something a character would do. Dialogue in it is great, and overall, I would give the series a 8 out of 10. It's my final rating. 8 out of 10 for Switch by Reinbach. 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 As always, I've seen the series I found it on was on a website called luscious.net.com. Just look up Luscious and then prom, but switch the O and the R and then cut the last hump off the M. You'll find it, trust me. Alright, overall, the like I said, 8 out of 10, great series, pretty short compared to the other ones that I've seen. Content great, characters very good. The illustrations top tier amongst my favorite, and overall, I would seriously recommend checking it out. Anything above a 6, I'm gonna say you should probably check out. And I really want to and I really want to review the ones that I like the most, and I feel like a lot of other people should check out. So expect more of these on the way. My brother is still kind of recovering. He's just bitching and moaning. Come on, it's pneumonia. Get over it. So until the next time, the doctor will have another up for you, and as my brother would say, the red sun setting. Bye, guys.